Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're talking about the spell Protection from Poison. This feels like a little bit of a snore fest. Am I wrong? Or...
Nope.
No.
Whenever I read this, I was like, oh God, I have to talk about this for 10 minutes. What do I say? This is bad and should feel bad.
I certainly don't want to bore our viewers. So I don't know. Maybe this will be a quick one. Let's find out. What does it do?
So this is a cleric druid paladin ranger artificer spell. So really just a cleric druid spell. It's a second level abjuration. First, it takes an action to cast. You have to touch the thing. It lasts an hour. No concentration. So you can put this on multiple people if you really want. You touch a creature. If it's poisoned, you neutralize it. Bam, easy, done. If more than one poison afflicts the target, you neutralize one poison that you know is there, or you neutralize one at random. So if you don't know what poisons are there, one of them at random is removed. For the duration, the target has advantage on saves against being poisoned. Has resistance to poison damage. Period.
Do different. I mean, poisoned is a what do you call it? Condition. Do different poisons have different conditions?
Okay, poisons in 5e, much like diseases, woefully underdone. There is not a lot of them that exist. There's like giant spider venom, I believe, is one. I know that there's a handful of other poisons that are mediocre. Most of them aren't long lasting. And most of them, like, if you're getting the poison condition, it's normally for a small duration of time, especially if you're talking about from player side, like spellcasting perspectives, which is what a lot of monster spellcasters are using. So like the neutralization portion of it, just because of how I'm going to go poorly executed the poison development of this game was, it's going to feel like something that you just grab and post, right? This is a spell that its existence makes poisons really hard to justify existing, because if you have a third level cleric or druid in the group, they can just be like, oh, if they're poisoned, all right, as long as they're not dead before the end of the next long rest, I'm just going to prepare protection from poison, and bam, problem solved. And if they are dead before the next long rest, I was never prepping protection from poison before that anyway, so the spell doesn't need to serve a purpose. So long duration poisons sort of don't get to exist because the spell exists. That kind of sucks. And on top of that, the poisons that do exist are really boring and aren't really all that often coming up, making this like I can't, unless you're going to go fight a poison breathing dragon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when you take this or cast this. I don't think you do. Like, even the poison condition, you can have better ways than protection from poison to mitigate it most of the time, like not standing in the stinking cloud, right? Like, you have other ways often to mitigate being poisoned.
Well, nobody wants to stand in the stinking cloud.
Gust of wind disables that condition entirely, right? Like, there are a lot of the poison effects that are going to be happening are incidentally attached to attack rolls that are doing a very little amount of poison damage anyway. That you're, again, those are very rarely going to be like the boss encounter of the fight. Normally it's like the giant scorpions along the way. You're not prepping a spell in your spell book to handle specifically the giant scorpions on the way. You're just saying, that's a fine amount of damage. We'll be fine. We've prepped to kill the scorpions faster. We're not poisoned. It's not a big deal. Right, this isn't a long debilitating poison. Who gives a shit?
All right, normal giant scorpion poison condition. What does it do?
Oh, I don't know off the top of my head. Giant scorpion 5e. Let me pull it up. We'll do this live.
Good times.
Like, why not? So the giant scorpions have a sting. They make a DC 12 Constitution saving throw or take 40-10 poison damage. These are CR3 monsters. So it doesn't poison them outright. It just deals poison damage. So the poison condition portion. Let me double check the wording on protection from poison. Advantage on saving throw against being poisoned. So you don't have advantage on the saving throw to prevent the poison damage, which is somewhat counterintuitive, but you do get resistance to the poison damage. So of the giant scorpion's damage, you would take 1d10 plus 2, and then should you fail the saving throw, 2d10 damage instead of 4d10 poison damage.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of with you. This doesn't feel like something I'd ever take. That's like...
Protection from energy exists, and that lets you pick a damage type, and I'm never happy to have someone take protection from energy. That's just resistance to a damage type is not worth a spell slot. This is resistance to a damage type that isn't that frequent, resistance to a condition that happens rarely, or sorry, not even like like it mitigates a condition rarely. That rarely occurs, and you have to prepare it ahead of time. Like, you have to know going into it, we're going to be fighting a bunch of things with poisons. Oftentimes, the point of a poison is to be discreet. Oftentimes, the point of a poison is to catch somebody off guard. If you're taking poison, you're like, yes, we know the king is going to get poisoned. Let's protect him from poison him so he's advantage on a saving throw. Imagine if he fails the saving throw anyway. A, that'd be hilarious, and the king would still die. But B, like... you shouldn't probably know ahead of time that that event is going to occur if the enemy has even done a remotely decent job at poisoning somebody. I don't know. I can't see the spell ever being something I'm preparing on my spell sheet.
The poison condition, disadvantage to saving throws, disadvantage to attack rolls, right?
That sounds right. I'll double check, but yeah. Talk about it like it is.
Yeah, I'm looking it up here, and that's... No, I'm sorry, not saving throws. Disadvantage to attack rolls and ability checks.
Sure.
So like a typical thing poisons you, the giant scorpion. How long does that condition last?
Again, an iconic monster at dealing poison doesn't give you the poison condition. Scorpions don't poison you they don't give you the condition. They just deal the damage.
What gives you the condition then?
I think troglodyte stench. I think that does. We're double checking. We're pulling up stat blocks. Yes. So a troglodyte stench poisons until the start of your next, or the creature's next turn, if you fail a DC 12 check. So it's not even long duration. It's a DC 12 save. So, like, do you need advantage on that? I don't think you need advantage on that. You have to be within 5 feet of them anyway. I'm not preparing this to go fight troglodytes. That's not worth my spell slot, especially because they don't do poison damage. They just give you the poison condition.
This is bizarre to me.
Yeah, I think
I would have played this wrong if I hadn't had this conversation first. Like, it would just be baffling to me. I would just glance over the wording and say, all right, that's poison condition or poison damage, or no, it would be both. And I'd be looking for, all right, how long does this poison condition last for the scorpions? It doesn't say. I'm going to make it up. It lasts an hour.
Yeah, the poison, I will double check, but I'm having just read the scorpion block. Yep, it's just 40-10 poison damage. No poison condition.
Yeah, well, I'm seeing even less of a reason to take this.
Yeah, like, even against the things it's supposed to be aimed at.
Yeah, I mean, you take a little more damage, or I mean, does anything with giving you the poison condition give it to you for a longer duration?
I will say almost certainly yes, but they're probably less than a handful. Like, I'd imagine 3 to 4 creatures in the monster manual that do it in total. That's off the top of my head. I could be wildly wrong. YouTube comments, please give me a detailed list of every single monster that's been printed that has more than a minute-long poison duration to justify the spell's existence. Because at the moment, it feels like the spell existed for like, oh yeah, we'll add more poisons down the road. Yeah, no, we'll totally flesh that out. We'll give like a real reasonable poison and disease stuff. It's coming in playtests. We're developing it. Oh shit, we launched. Okay, well that's fine. Just forget about it and ship it as is. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't see a reason. Like, again, maybe you're going against, like, so aren't black dragons acid damage? So a green dragon's poison? One of the two is poison, the other one's acid. Against one of those two, and you really don't want to die to a breath weapon, sure. Throw this on 3 people in the mid tiers, and you'll be happy with it. That's the only time you're prepping the spell, is specifically to go against like a giant green dragon where you know there's a giant area weight poison damage effect coming down, and there's not taking concentration is a big boon there. Beyond that, no, this isn't worth the spell slots you're spending.
All right, well, yeah, we don't have to drag this out anymore. You got a rating for this one?
The use case being a single existing monster is not a good use case, and I hate what it does to the game as far as disabling the even conceiving idea of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try and poison somebody for long duration time in an interesting way that like changes how their character functions a little bit. Yeah, no, this gets a 1. This shouldn't exist. It's bad for the game.
I'm giving it a 1 as well, because even if you go up against a creature that gives you long-term poison condition, I mean, you don't know you're coming up against that. To prepare against one condition when other conditions exist, no, I don't see it.
Yep. This is something then you just like in that instance be like, okay, great. Let's go talk to the druid. They'll prepare it over the next long rest, and this condition isn't a problem.
Yep.
Wow, right. So interesting.
All right, that was protection from poison. Thank you, Sam, and thank you everyone for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, informative, or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. You needn't smash it. A gentle tap will suffice. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out the links in the description, where you'll find my Caverns Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels, Sam's full review of the spell, and other fun things.